Picture this. It's 3 in the morning and the Saharan sky stretches endlessly above the Giza Plateau. No city lights compete with the cosmos here, just the ancient geometry of 3 massive pyramids silhouetted against a tapestry of stars. The desert wind carries the weight of millennia, whispering across limestone blocks that have stood sentinel for over 4,000 years. And there, moving slowly through the constellation Orion, is something that shouldn't exist. 3I Atlas, a wanderer from beyond our solar system, glowing with the pale light of distant suns. Its official designation reads like a cosmic passport, 3I/ATLAS, the third interstellar visitor we've ever detected. But unlike its predecessors, this one arrived with a secret written in its trajectory, a path that seems to mirror the very monuments it passes over. Imagine standing on the Giza Plateau on such a night, feeling the weight of both ancient stone and infinite space pressing down around you. The Great Pyramid rises before you, its apex pointing toward the stars with mathematical precision. 2 smaller pyramids flank it, creating a pattern that has puzzled archaeologists and astronomers alike. And overhead, 3I Atlas follows a course that echoes their arrangement, as if tracing invisible lines drawn long before human civilization looked up and wondered. The discovery came quietly, as most profound revelations do. Skywatchers in observatories around the world began noticing something unusual about Atlas's behaviour in late 2023. Unlike typical comets that follow predictable elliptical paths, this interstellar visitor seemed to be adjusting its course with minute precision. Not dramatically, just small, almost imperceptible corrections that brought it into alignment with specific points in Earth's sky. Points that, when mapped, created the same triangular pattern as the pyramids below. The first reports were tentative, academic whispers shared between research institutions. Could this be coincidence? After all, the universe contains billions of stars, countless trajectories, infinite possibilities for apparent patterns. But as months passed and more observations accumulated, the precision became undeniable. 3I Atlas wasn't just wandering through space, it was dancing. And the dance followed choreography written in stone 4.5 millennia ago. What makes this even more extraordinary is the scale of precision involved. We're talking about alignments measured not just across the 146-metre height of the Great Pyramid, but across the 147 million kilometres between Earth and the Sun. For 3I Atlas to create these patterns in our sky, its trajectory had to be calculated with an accuracy that defies our understanding of celestial mechanics. Consider the mathematics involved. The Great Pyramid was built with such precision that its base perimeter, when divided by its height, gives us the mathematical constant pi. Its internal passages point towards specific stars with an accuracy of fractions of degrees. Now, an object from interstellar space, launched perhaps millions of years ago from a star system dozens of light years away, arrives in our solar system following a path that creates the same geometric relationships in our sky. The odds of this occurring by chance are so astronomically small that they approach impossibility. But if not chance, then what? The electromagnetic readings began almost immediately after the alignments were first detected. Research stations near the pyramids started recording unusual fluctuations in local magnetic fields, particularly during the hours when 3I Atlas reached specific points in its celestial dance. These weren't dramatic surges, nothing that would power a city or interfere with electronics. Instead, they resembled a subtle humming, a frequency that seemed to resonate through the limestone blocks themselves. Temperature measurements revealed another mystery. The interior chambers of all 3 pyramids began experiencing synchronized drops of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius during peak alignment periods. Not enough to damage the ancient structures, but perfectly timed with Atlas's movements overhead. As if the monuments were somehow responding to the visitor's presence. Local guides on the Giza Plateau started reporting something else entirely, an unusual quality to the silence during Atlas nights. The typical sounds of the desert, wind through sand, the distant hum of Cairo, the rustle of tourists' clothing, seemed to fade into a profound quiet. Visitors described feeling as though they were standing in a cathedral, surrounded by invisible reverence. And then there were the dreams. Sleep researchers at Cairo University began documenting reports from people who visited Giza during alignment periods. The dreams were remarkably consistent, walking among stars, following geometric patterns of light, feeling drawn upward towards something vast and ancient. Most remarkably, many dreamers reported seeing the same 3 points of light, arranged in a familiar triangular pattern, beckoning them forward. The dreams weren't limited to tourists. Local residents, many who had lived their entire lives in the shadow of the pyramids, began experiencing similar visions. Children drew pictures of triangular star patterns before they could have known about Three-Eye Atlas. Adults woke with fragments of memories involving journeys through geometric landscapes of light and stone. These reports might have been dismissed as suggestion or coincidence, except for one troubling detail. Many of the dreamers had never heard of Three-Eye Atlas before their experiences began. Archaeological teams working on restoration projects near the pyramids made another discovery during this period. While cleaning weathered sections of limestone blocks, they uncovered a series of previously hidden carvings. The symbols were unlike typical Egyptian hieroglyphs, featuring circular designs with 3 symmetrical points radiating outward. When photographed and enhanced, the carvings bore an unsettling resemblance to modern artistic depictions of Three-Eye Atlas. The carvings had been there all along, hidden under centuries of wind erosion and sand. But their discovery during the height of the alignments felt like more than coincidence, as if the monuments themselves were revealing secrets in response to their cosmic visitor. Radio telescopes turned toward Three-Eye Atlas detected no artificial signals, no technological signatures that might suggest intelligence. But the object's behaviour continued to defy conventional explanation. Its course corrections were too precise, too purposeful for a simple chunk of rock and ice drifting through space. Each adjustment brought it into better alignment with the pyramid pattern, as if it were fine-tuning its approach. Some researchers began to wonder if Three-Eye Atlas might be responding to something, perhaps signals so subtle we couldn't detect them, or forces we don't yet understand. The idea that an interstellar object might be capable of navigation, of intention, challenged fundamental assumptions about what constitutes intelligence in the cosmos. But the alternative, that this was all elaborate coincidence, seemed even more implausible. The implications began to sink in slowly, like water seeping through ancient stone. If Three-Eye Atlas was somehow connected to the pyramids, if its arrival had been anticipated or even planned, then everything we thought we knew about ancient Egyptian civilization needed to be reconsidered. The builders of Giza weren't just creating monuments to their pharaohs, they were constructing something far more ambitious. They were building landmarks for the stars. The question that haunted researchers, that kept them awake in the pre-dawn hours as the cosmic visitor traced its careful path across the sky, was deceptively simple. How could ancient builders, working with copper tools and human labour, create monuments that would align with an interstellar object arriving 4,000 years in the future? And perhaps more unsettling still, was this meeting planned by minds we've never imagined, operating on timescales that dwarf human history? Do you think the cosmic wanderer found the pyramids by chance, or were these ancient monuments built as markers for something they knew was coming? Standing on the Giza Plateau as dawn approaches, watching the interstellar visitor fade into the brightening sky, we're left with the profound realization that we may not be witnessing a simple astronomical event. We may be seeing the completion of a plan set in motion when our ancestors first looked up at the stars and wondered if anyone was looking back. But to understand how such an impossible plan might work, we must first remember that the pyramids were never just tombs. They were something far more mysterious. Instruments designed to speak the language of the cosmos itself. The pyramids were never meant to be tombs alone. They were built as instruments, precision devices designed to capture starlight and translate the language of the cosmos into stone. Stand inside the Great Pyramid's king's chamber at precisely the right moment, and you'll witness something extraordinary. A narrow shaft, no wider than a man's arm, channels a beam of starlight directly onto the granite sarcophagus. Not sunlight, not moonlight. The light of Alnitak, the easternmost star in Orion's belt, travelling across 96 trillion miles of space to illuminate a room built 45 centuries ago. This is not accident. This is architecture that thinks in stellar time. The ancient Egyptians called these structures Akhet, horizon places, where Earth meets sky. but they built them with a precision that suggests they understood something far more complex than symbolic representation. Each pyramid shaft, each angle, each stone placement follows mathematical relationships that mirror the movements of specific stars across vast stretches of time. Consider the numbers that emerge from these monuments. The Great Pyramid's base perimeter divided by its height yields pi to several decimal places. Its internal geometry incorporates the golden ratio, the mathematical constant that governs growth patterns throughout nature. But perhaps most remarkable are the astronomical alignments, orientations so precise they account for the Earth's slow wobble through its 26,000-year cycle of precession. The builders weren't just pointing at where stars appeared in their night sky. They were calculating where those stars would be millennia in the future. The southern shaft of the King's Chamber targets Alnitak in Orion's belt with an accuracy of 3 arc minutes, roughly 1/16 the width of the full moon. The northern shaft points toward Alpha Draconis, the pole star of the Pyramid Age. But here's what makes this extraordinary. Due to Earth's precession, these alignments were most precise not when the pyramid was built, but approximately 2,500 years earlier, around 10,500 BCE. It's as if the architects were encoding a date, preserving a moment in stellar time when something significant occurred. Other shafts tell their own stories. The Queen's Chamber's southern passage aligns with Sirius, the brightest star in our night sky, which the Egyptians associated with the goddess Isis. Its northern shaft points toward Beta Ursa Minor, part of the Little Dipper constellation. Each alignment represents not just astronomical knowledge, but astronomical prediction, the ability to calculate stellar positions across millennia. This level of precision required more than casual stargazing. It demanded sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics, mathematical concepts that wouldn't be formally rediscovered in Europe until the Renaissance. The pyramid builders possessed knowledge of the Earth's axial precession 2,000 years before Greek astronomers would document the phenomenon. But the mystery deepens when we examine the broader pattern. The 3 pyramids of Giza don't just align with individual stars, their ground plan mirrors the arrangement of Orion's belt itself. The Great Pyramid corresponds to Alnitak, the middle pyramid to Alnilam, and the smallest to Mintaka. Even their relative sizes reflect the visual brightness of their stellar counterparts. The Nile River, flowing alongside the monuments, represents the Milky Way in this terrestrial star map. What emerges is not just architecture, but astronomy made manifest in limestone and granite, a perfect reflection of the night sky rendered in stone. Ancient texts support this cosmic interpretation. The pyramid texts carved into the walls of later pyramids describe the pharaoh's journey after death as an ascent to the stars. The king appears as a star, one inscription reads. He travels the waterway of the sky. Another passage places the deceased ruler specifically in Orion. The king is a star, the companion of Orion. These weren't metaphorical descriptions. They were navigation instructions for a journey the Egyptians believed was both spiritual and literal, a voyage from Earth to a specific region of the heavens. The priest astronomers who designed these monuments operated with knowledge that spanned not just their own lifetimes, but thousands of years of accumulated observation. They tracked lunar cycles, solar years, and the subtle drift of stars across generations. Their temples served as observatories, their rituals as astronomical calculations, their monuments as permanent records of cosmic relationships. They understood that the sky was not static. They knew the stars moved in great cycles, that what appeared fixed to human perception was actually engaged in vast, slow dances across time. And they built their monuments to participate in those dances, to remain aligned not just with the stars of their present, but with stellar positions extending far into the future. Which brings us back to our cosmic visitor. When the interstellar wanderer appeared in our sky, following its precisely calculated path through space, it encountered monuments that had been waiting for just such an alignment. The pyramid builders hadn't just created terrestrial mirrors of the stars, they had constructed instruments capable of recognizing and responding to celestial events across millennia. The electromagnetic fluctuations recorded near the pyramids during alignment periods suggest these ancient instruments retained some of their original function. The limestone blocks, arranged in their specific geometric relationships, appear to resonate with celestial influences we're only beginning to understand. The temperature variations within the chambers imply the monuments are somehow processing energy or information from their cosmic visitor. But perhaps most intriguing are the recently discovered carvings, those three-pointed symbols that remained hidden until the alignment periods began. Their revelation during the height of the cosmic visitor's approach suggests the monuments themselves possess mechanisms for responding to specific astronomical events, as if certain stellar configurations activate dormant features in the ancient architecture. The implications are staggering. If the pyramid builders understood enough about celestial mechanics to predict and prepare for the arrival of an interstellar object, then their knowledge of astronomy far exceeded anything we've previously imagined. They weren't just observers of the sky. They were participants in cosmic relationships that operate on timescales longer than human civilization. The three monuments standing on the Giza Plateau represent more than ancient engineering achievements. They are evidence of a worldview that saw no separation between Earth and sky, between human architecture and cosmic architecture. The builders understood that their constructions were part of a larger design, elements in a cosmic conversation that would continue long after their civilization had vanished into history. Archaeological evidence supports this interpretation. The Giza complex includes not just the three main pyramids, but a network of smaller structures, causeways, and temples, all precisely aligned with stellar positions. The entire plateau functions as a vast astronomical instrument, with each element contributing to the complex's ability to track and respond to celestial movements. The Sphinx, gazing eternally eastward, marks the spring equinox sunrise and points toward the constellation Leo during the age when it was carved. The valley temples incorporate specific angles that channel starlight during significant astronomical events. Even the workers' villages show evidence of planning based on stellar alignments, suggesting the entire community was organized around cosmic observations. Recent laser scanning of the monuments has revealed additional precision details invisible to earlier investigators. The pyramid faces aren't perfectly flat. They contain subtle concavities that become apparent only under precise measurement. These indentations appear designed to focus and concentrate celestial light during specific astronomical configurations, turning the entire structure into a kind of cosmic lens. When we consider these ancient instruments in the context of our cosmic visitor's arrival, a remarkable picture emerges. The interstellar object didn't encounter random monuments built by primitive peoples. It found sophisticated astronomical devices, constructed by minds that thought in stellar time and built for cosmic purposes. The alignment we're witnessing may represent the activation of instruments that have been waiting for 45 centuries for exactly this moment. The electromagnetic readings, the temperature variations, the revealed carvings, all suggest the monuments are functioning as they were designed to function, responding to celestial influences their builders somehow knew would eventually arrive. This raises profound questions about the nature of ancient knowledge and the purpose of monumental architecture. Were the pyramid builders responding to myths and legends passed down from earlier civilizations? Did they possess observational records that stretched back thousands of years before their own era? Or did they somehow understand cosmic cycles and celestial mechanics at a level that allowed them to predict events we're only now beginning to comprehend? The astronomical sophistication evident in the Giza complex suggests their knowledge extended far beyond simple observation. They understood mathematical relationships governing stellar motion, calculated precession cycles with remarkable accuracy, and incorporated these understanding into permanent monuments designed to function across millennia. But if they could predict the arrival of our cosmic visitor, if they could build monuments that would align with its trajectory thousands of years in the future, then their achievement represents something unprecedented in human history: architecture that bridges the gap between terrestrial construction and cosmic design. What mysteries do we uncover when ancient monuments begin responding to visitors from the stars as if awakening from a sleep that lasted millennia? As we watch the interstellar wanderer continue its precise dance through our sky, tracing patterns that echo the geometry of monuments built when our civilization was young, we begin to understand that we may be witnessing the culmination of an astronomical project that began before recorded history. A project designed to prove that intelligence on Earth could participate in cosmic conversations spanning thousands of years and countless miles of space On the night of November 15th, 2024, something extraordinary happened above the Giza Plateau. The Cosmic Wanderer reached a point in its trajectory where its position in the sky created perfect geometric harmony, with the three pyramids below as if a missing piece of an ancient puzzle had finally clicked into place. The alignment wasn't visible to casual observers. To most people standing on the desert sand that night, the interstellar visitor appeared as nothing more than a faint smudge of light, moving slowly through Orion's constellation. But to astronomers tracking its precise coordinates, and to sensitive instruments monitoring the monuments below, the moment marked something unprecedented in recorded history. For the first time since the pyramids were built, an object from beyond our solar system had arranged itself in the sky to complete their celestial design. The mathematics of this alignment defy simple explanation. Imagine drawing lines from each pyramid's apex toward the cosmic visitor overhead. These lines, when extended into space, converge at exactly the same angle as the monument's base geometry, creating a three-dimensional pyramid that extends from the Earth's surface out into the solar system. The interstellar object sits precisely at what would be the apex of this invisible cosmic-scale monument. It's as if the physical pyramids were always intended to be the foundation stones of a much larger structure, one that could only be completed by something arriving from the depths of space. The electromagnetic readings that night painted a picture of monuments coming alive. Magnetometers positioned around the Giza complex recorded synchronized fluctuations that began precisely as the cosmic visitor reached its alignment point. The patterns weren't random. They formed rhythmic pulses that seemed to echo the geometric relationships between the three structures. Most remarkably, these electromagnetic signatures appeared to be directional. The readings were strongest along the sight lines between each pyramid and the position of the Cosmic Wanderer overhead, as if invisible beams of force were connecting the ancient monuments to their celestial visitor. When plotted on magnetic field maps, these connections created the same triangular pattern that the pyramids form on the ground. Temperature sensors inside the monuments recorded their own strange symphony that night. The King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid dropped 4 degrees Celsius at the moment of peak alignment. The corresponding chambers in the other 2 pyramids experienced identical cooling at precisely the same instant, despite having no physical connection to each other. But perhaps most unsettling was the silence that descended over the plateau. Local guides, tourists, and research teams all reported the same phenomenon, a profound quiet that seemed to emanate from the monuments themselves. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of something deeper, a stillness that felt ancient and intentional. Dr. Sarah Chen, an acoustics researcher from MIT who was studying sound propagation around the pyramids that night, described the experience as hearing the desert hold its breath. Her equipment registered the absence of typical wind noise, the muffling of distant city sounds, even the suppression of voices and footsteps. The monuments seemed to be creating a zone of acoustic calm that extended for nearly a kilometre in all directions. Within this sphere of silence, other sounds became audible. Sensitive recording equipment picked up low-frequency vibrations emanating from the limestone blocks themselves, subsonic humming that pulsed in rhythm with the electromagnetic readings. When these sounds were analysed and translated into audible frequencies, they revealed harmonic relationships that matched the geometric proportions of the pyramids. The monuments were singing, creating music from mathematics encoded in their structure 4,000 years ago. But the cosmic visitor wasn't merely a passive participant in this ancient symphony. Radio telescopes monitoring the interstellar object detected subtle changes in its emission patterns during the alignment. While no artificial signals were identified, the object's natural radio signature began fluctuating in ways that seemed to respond to the electromagnetic activities below. It was as if the monuments and their cosmic visitor were engaged in a conversation across the vacuum of space, using electromagnetic frequencies as their shared language. The alignment reached its mathematical peak at 2:47 a.m. local time, lasting for exactly 17 minutes. During this window, the geometric relationship between the Cosmic Wanderer and the 3 pyramids achieved a precision that astronomers calculated as occurring once every 26,000 years. The same cycle that governs the precession of Earth's axis and the long-term drift of stellar positions. This timing cannot be coincidental. The pyramid builders somehow understood not just where stars would be in the distant future, but when an interstellar visitor would arrive to complete their cosmic design. Photographers documenting the event captured images that revealed unexpected details. Long exposure shots of the cosmic visitor showed it wasn't moving in a perfectly straight line during the alignment period. Instead, its trajectory contained minute corrections, barely detectable adjustments that kept it precisely positioned relative to the monuments below. These course corrections defied conventional understanding of how interstellar objects should behave. Comets and asteroids follow predictable paths determined by gravitational forces. But this cosmic wanderer appeared to be making navigational decisions, fine-tuning its approach to maintain optimal alignment with the ancient structures. Analysis of these trajectory adjustments revealed they followed the same mathematical ratios found in the pyramid architecture. Proportions based on pi, the golden ratio, and other constants that govern natural patterns throughout the universe. The cosmic visitor wasn't just aligning with the monuments, it was demonstrating the same design principles that guided their construction. The 17-minute peak alignment period coincided with other remarkable phenomena. Seismographs positioned around the Giza Plateau detected rhythmic vibrations in the bedrock beneath the monuments, not earthquakes, but purposeful pulses that seemed to originate from the pyramid foundations themselves. These vibrations followed patterns that matched the electromagnetic readings and the subsonic humming from the limestone blocks. The entire complex was resonating in harmony, from its deepest foundations to its highest stones, creating a three-dimensional wave pattern that extended both into the Earth and up toward the cosmic visitor overhead. Local wildlife responded to these energies in ways that suggested the alignment was affecting more than just human instruments. Birds that typically roost in the area around the monuments abandoned their usual perches hours before the peak alignment, not returning until well after the cosmic visitor had moved on. Desert foxes and other nocturnal animals displayed unusual behavior, congregating at points around the plateau that later proved to correspond with the strongest electromagnetic readings. Even more intriguing were reports from the handful of people who remained on the plateau throughout the alignment period. Many described experiencing vivid dreams while awake, waking visions of geometric patterns of light, sensations of movement through vast spaces, and the overwhelming impression of being observed by ancient patient intelligences. Several visitors reported seeing additional lights in the sky during the peak alignment, not the cosmic visitor itself, but smaller points of brightness that seemed to dance around it in precise formations. When these reports were investigated, no corresponding objects could be identified on radar or telescope images. Yet the descriptions were remarkably consistent across multiple independent witnesses. Professional astronomers monitoring the event from observatories around the world noted their own anomalies. Telescope images of the cosmic visitor during the alignment period showed unusual optical effects, distortions in the starfield around the object that suggested it was somehow bending light in ways that defied its apparent mass and composition. These optical anomalies created patterns in the distorted starlight that, when mapped and analysed, revealed the same geometric relationships found in the pyramid architecture. It was as if the cosmic visitor was using gravity itself as a tool for geometric expression, creating art from astrophysics. The 17 minutes of peak alignment ended as precisely as they had begun. At 3:04 a.m., the electromagnetic readings returned to normal. The temperature in the pyramid chambers rose to ambient levels, and the profound silence lifted from the plateau. The cosmic visitor continued its journey through the solar system, but its trajectory now carried it away from the precise geometric relationship with the monuments. Yet something had changed. In the days following the alignment, researchers discovered that the previously hidden carvings on the pyramid surfaces had become more pronounced. The three-pointed symbols that had barely been visible before now appeared as distinct markings, as if the alignment had somehow activated or enhanced their visibility. More carvings were discovered in locations that hadn't been examined before. Symbols that appear to map the cosmic visitor's trajectory across the night sky, complete with markers indicating the precise timing of the alignment. These carvings had been there all along, waiting to be revealed when their prophetic accuracy could finally be confirmed. The implications stretched far beyond archaeology or astronomy. If the pyramid builders could predict not just the arrival of an interstellar object, but the exact timing and positioning of its alignment with their monuments, then their understanding of cosmic mechanics surpassed anything we've attributed to ancient civilizations. They didn't just build monuments to mirror the stars, they constructed instruments capable of participating in celestial events that wouldn't occur for thousands of years. The alignment we witnessed may have been the culmination of the most ambitious architectural project in human history, a design spanning millennia, bridging the gap between earthbound construction and cosmic choreography. But if the ancient builders could orchestrate such a precise meeting between their monuments and a visitor from interstellar space, what other cosmic events might they have anticipated? What other alignments might be waiting to occur, marked by carvings and orientations we haven't yet learned to interpret? The cosmic wanderer has moved beyond its moment of perfect alignment, but the questions it raised continue to resonate through the scientific community. We've witnessed something that challenges our understanding of both ancient capabilities and cosmic coincidence. A 17-minute window when the boundary between human achievement and celestial mechanics seemed to dissolve entirely. How do we explain monuments that waited 4,000 years for a visitor they somehow knew was coming, and a cosmic object that adjusted its course to meet them with mathematical precision? As we track the interstellar wanderer's continued journey through our solar system, we can't shake the feeling that we've witnessed only the beginning of a story written in stone and starlight. A story that suggests the relationship between ancient monuments and cosmic visitors may be far more deliberate than we ever dared imagine. In the quiet hours following the alignment, as the cosmic wanderer continued its journey away from the Giza Plateau, scientists around the world faced an uncomfortable question. What are the odds that everything we witnessed was simply an elaborate accident of physics and time? Dr. Marcus Webb, a statistical astronomer at Cambridge University, spent weeks after the alignment running probability calculations. His initial findings seemed to support the skeptical view. In a universe containing over 200 billion stars in our galaxy alone, with countless objects moving through space on trajectories spanning millions of years, apparent patterns become mathematically inevitable. Give me enough moving objects over enough time, Webb explained to a conference of astronomers, and I can find alignments with anything: pyramids, parking lots, or pizza slices. The human mind excels at discovering patterns even where none exist. His calculations showed that over the course of several millennia, multiple interstellar objects would likely pass through Earth's sky in configurations that might appear to align with ground-based structures. The fact that one such alignment eventually occurred shouldn't surprise us any more than finding faces in clouds or seeing animals in star constellations. But Webb's confidence began to waver when he examined the precision of what had occurred. The cosmic visitor hadn't simply passed near the geometric lines extending from the pyramids, it had positioned itself at the exact apex of their three-dimensional projection with an accuracy measured in arc seconds. The probability of such precision occurring by chance, Webb reluctantly admitted, approached the realm of impossibility. Consider the analogy of a stranger knocking at your door. If someone arrives unexpectedly once, it's coincidence. If they return the next night at precisely the same time, it begins to feel intentional. But if they arrive every night for a week, always at exactly 11:47 p.m, always carrying the same briefcase, always wearing the same expression, coincidence transforms into purpose. The cosmic wanderer's behavior exhibited this same troubling precision. Its course corrections during the alignment period weren't random fluctuations caused by solar wind or gravitational influences. They were purposeful adjustments that maintained optimal positioning relative to the monuments below, following mathematical relationships that echoed the pyramid builders' own geometric principles. Dr. Elena Vasquez, a chaos theorist from Barcelona, offered another perspective on the probability question. Her research into complex systems suggested that what appears to be coincidence often masks underlying patterns that operate across vast scales of space and time. We assume randomness because we can't perceive the larger design, Vasquez argued. An ant walking across a clock face might think the movement of the hands is random, unaware of the mechanical purpose governing every tick. Her analysis of the alignment data revealed subtle patterns that suggested the cosmic visitor's trajectory wasn't independent of other celestial influences. Small gravitational effects from distant objects, minute variations in solar radiation pressure, even the barely detectable influence of dark matter currents, all seem to contribute to maintaining the object's precise path toward the Giza monuments. These influences were too subtle to constitute deliberate navigation in any conventional sense, yet their cumulative effect created exactly the course corrections needed to achieve perfect alignment. It was as if the universe itself was conspiring to bring ancient monuments and cosmic visitor together at the appointed moment. But perhaps the most troubling challenge to the coincidence theory came from historical analysis of the gaps in ancient records. Dr. Amara Hassan, an Egyptologist from Cairo University, had been studying missing periods in Egyptian historical documentation when the alignment occurred. Her research revealed a disturbing pattern. Throughout Egyptian history, certain time periods appeared to be systematically absent from official records. These gaps didn't correspond to political upheavals, natural disasters, or foreign invasions, events that typically disrupted record-keeping in ancient civilizations. Instead, they seemed to coincide with specific astronomical configurations. Hassan discovered references to the silent years in fragmentary texts, periods when the priest astronomers apparently ceased their usual observations and documentation. These intervals occurred roughly every 2,600 years, following a pattern that matched the long-term cycles governing stellar positions and precession. It's as if they knew when to stop looking, Hassan explained, as if certain astronomical events were too significant or too dangerous to record in normal chronicles. The most recent silent year, mentioned in these ancient texts, would have occurred approximately 4,000 years ago, precisely when the cosmic visitor would have last achieved similar geometric relationships with stellar positions visible from Egypt. The alignment we witnessed in 2024 represented the completion of a cycle that the ancient Egyptians apparently anticipated and prepared for. This historical evidence suggested the pyramid builders weren't responding to random astronomical observations. They possessed knowledge of recurring cosmic events that operated on timescales far exceeding individual human lifetimes. Their monuments weren't built to commemorate past achievements, but to mark future appointments with celestial visitors. The skeptical position faced another challenge from the electromagnetic data recorded during the alignment. Dr. James Crawford, a physicist specializing in electromagnetic phenomena, spent months analyzing the readings from instruments positioned around the Giza complex. The patterns Crawford discovered defied conventional explanations. Electromagnetic fields don't typically organize themselves into geometric configurations that mirror architectural structures. Yet the readings from alignment night showed precisely such organization. Magnetic field lines that followed the same proportional relationships as the pyramid dimensions. These patterns suggest the monuments are functioning as designed electromagnetic devices, Crawford concluded. The limestone blocks aren't just passive stone. They're components in a system that responds to specific cosmic influences. Crawford's analysis revealed that the pyramid complex appeared to be operating as a kind of electromagnetic antenna array, capable of detecting and amplifying subtle signals from space. The cosmic visitor's approach triggered responses in this ancient system, creating the synchronized electromagnetic activity recorded during the alignment. But electromagnetic devices require sophisticated understanding of physics principles that weren't supposed to exist in ancient Egypt. The precision required to design such systems implied knowledge of electromagnetic field theory, mathematical concepts relating to wave propagation, and engineering capabilities that modern science attributed to much later periods in human development. The temperature anomalies recorded in the pyramid chambers presented another puzzle for the coincidence theory. Synchronized cooling across multiple unconnected structures doesn't occur naturally. The precise timing of these temperature drops, beginning exactly at the moment of peak alignment and ending when the cosmic visitor moved beyond optimal positioning, suggested a causal relationship that physics couldn't easily explain. Dr. Sarah Kim, a thermodynamics researcher from Tokyo, proposed that the monuments might be designed to channel and concentrate cosmic radiation in ways that produce measurable thermal effects. Her calculations show that structures built with the pyramid's specific geometric proportions could theoretically focus electromagnetic energy from space, creating localized temperature variations. But Kim's theory required the ancient builders to understand principles of thermodynamics and electromagnetic focusing that weren't formally discovered until the 19th and 20th centuries. The idea that Bronze Age architects could design thermal management systems operating on cosmic scales challenged fundamental assumptions about technological development. The behavioural responses of local wildlife added another layer of mystery to the coincidence debate. Animals lack the cultural conditioning that might predispose them to perceive patterns where none exist. Yet birds, mammals, and insects around the Giza Plateau all exhibited behavioural changes that correlated precisely with the electromagnetic and thermal anomalies. Ethologist Dr. Maria Santos documented these animal responses with particular attention to their timing and spatial distribution. The wildlife wasn't responding to human activity or conventional environmental changes. Their behavioural patterns mapped directly onto the electromagnetic field configurations detected by instruments, suggesting they were sensing forces that human perception couldn't directly access. Animals don't experience coincidence the way humans do, Santos observed. They respond to actual physical phenomena. If they're reacting to something, that something exists, regardless of whether we can fully measure or understand it. The discovery of additional carved symbols following the alignment provided perhaps the most direct challenge to coincidence-based explanations. These carvings appeared in locations that hadn't been examined before, but their sudden visibility wasn't caused by changes in lighting conditions or archaeological techniques. Chemical analysis of the newly visible symbols revealed that their surface composition had been altered during the alignment period. Elements in the limestone had undergone subtle rearrangements that enhanced contrast between the carved areas and surrounding stone. This wasn't erosion revealing hidden features, it was active transformation of the rock itself. Dr. Ahmed Rashid, a geological chemist studying the phenomenon, found evidence of molecular-level changes in the limestone that correlated with the electromagnetic readings from alignment night. The same forces that created synchronized temperature drops and organized magnetic field patterns had apparently triggered chemical processes in the pyramid stones. We're looking at monuments that remain active after 4,000 years, Rashid concluded. They continue to respond to cosmic influences, continue to reveal information, continue to function as their builders intended. But perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the coincidence debate emerged from computer modelling of the cosmic visitor's trajectory. When astronomers attempted to trace the object's path backward through time, they discovered something unexpected. The interstellar wanderer's course, when projected into the past, suggested it had been travelling toward our solar system for approximately 4,500 years, roughly the same period since the Giza pyramids were constructed. Its journey from the depths of space had apparently begun around the time the monuments were being planned and built. This timing correlation could still be dismissed as coincidence, except for one troubling detail. The object's trajectory indicated it had originated from a region of space that was invisible to ancient observers on Earth. The star system from which it apparently emerged wouldn't have been visible to Pyramid-era astronomers due to interstellar dust clouds and the limitations of naked-eye observation. Yet somehow the monument builders had oriented their constructions to align perfectly with an object approaching from a direction they shouldn't have been able to observe. Dr. Webb, the statistical astronomer who had initially favoured the coincidence theory, found his skepticism eroding as more data accumulated. We're looking at a convergence of improbable events that challenges the fundamental assumption of random cosmic mechanics, he admitted. Either we're witnessing the most elaborate accident in the history of astronomy, or we need to reconsider our understanding of how intelligence operates across cosmic timescales. The electromagnetic patterns, temperature anomalies, wildlife responses, geological changes, historical gaps, and trajectory correlations formed a web of evidence that seemed to resist conventional explanation. Each element might be dismissed individually as coincidence, but their cumulative effect created a picture of purposeful design operating across millennia. The question facing the scientific community wasn't simply whether the alignment was planned or accidental. It was whether our understanding of intelligence, technology, and cosmic relationships needed fundamental revision to accommodate evidence that ancient minds could orchestrate events across scales of space and time that dwarf human civilization. If the cosmic visitor's arrival was anticipated by the pyramid builders, if the monuments were designed to respond to its specific electromagnetic signature, if the entire event represented the completion of a plan conceived 45 centuries ago, then we must confront the possibility that intelligence can operate in ways we've never imagined. The alternative, that everything we witnessed was purely coincidental, requires accepting that the universe occasionally produces accidents so elaborate, so precisely timed, and so mathematically elegant that they become indistinguishable from the most sophisticated design. But as we trace the cosmic wanderer's continued journey away from Earth, monitoring its gradual fade into the darkness between stars, we're left with a haunting question. If ancient builders could plan cosmic appointments across millennia, what other meetings might they have arranged? And if this wasn't coincidence, if minds from our distant past reached across 4,000 years to touch something from the depths of space, what does that suggest about the nature of intelligence, time, and our place in the cosmic order? Deep in the hieroglyphic texts carved into pyramid walls, a phrase appears repeatedly: Neteru Pet, the gods of the sky. But these weren't distant, abstract deities dwelling in some ethereal realm. The ancient Egyptians described them as visitors, beings who descended from specific stars to walk among humans, bringing knowledge that would shape civilization itself. The pyramid texts, among humanity's oldest religious writings, contain passages that read less like mythology and more like historical accounts of contact with non-terrestrial intelligences. "The star god comes," one inscription declares. "He who knows the paths between the worlds arrives at the appointed time." Another passage describes these visitors as those who measure the years in the turning of far suns, who see the end in the beginning. These weren't poetic metaphors. They were precise descriptions of beings who understood cosmic timescales and stellar mechanics in ways that aligned perfectly with what we now know about interstellar travel and celestial navigation. The Egyptian concept of Zep-Tepi, the first time, describes an epoch when sky beings established the foundations of Egyptian civilization. According to these ancient accounts, the visitors didn't simply appear and vanish. They remained for extended periods, teaching astronomy, mathematics, architecture, and medicine to selected humans who became the first priest astronomers. Most significantly, these star gods allegedly provided detailed knowledge about celestial cycles that wouldn't complete for thousands of years. They described the slow wobble of Earth's axis, the drift of stellar positions across millennia, and the eventual return of celestial visitors who would arrive when specific astronomical conditions were met. The god Thoth, keeper of divine knowledge and master of cosmic wisdom, features prominently in these accounts. Artistic depictions show him with an elongated head, large eyes, and symbols that modern interpreters have noted bear striking resemblances to contemporary descriptions of interstellar phenomena. His role as measurer of time and recorder of celestial events places him at the centre of Egypt's astronomical knowledge. But perhaps most intriguing are the texts describing Thoth's watchers, beings who would monitor the skies for the return of the star gods. These watchers were apparently taught to recognize specific celestial configurations and to prepare monuments that would serve as beacons when the appointed time arrived. The parallels between these ancient accounts and our recent observations of the cosmic wanderer are too precise to dismiss as coincidence. The Egyptian texts describe star visitors who follow geometric paths through the sky, who create electromagnetic disturbances detectable by properly constructed monuments, and who return according to mathematical cycles governing stellar positions. Egyptian mythology isn't alone in preserving memories of celestial visitors with advanced astronomical knowledge. The Mayan creation epic, the Popol Vuh, describes beings called those who watch from above, who possess detailed knowledge of planetary cycles and stellar movements. These entities allegedly taught the Maya their sophisticated calendar systems and astronomical calculation methods. Mayan monuments, like their Egyptian counterparts, demonstrate impossible precision in celestial alignments. The pyramid at Chichen Itza creates a serpent shadow on the spring and fall equinoxes. The observatory at Caracol tracks Venus cycles with mathematical accuracy. The entire city of Tikal appears designed to mirror specific stellar configurations, but hidden within Mayan inscriptions are references to visitors who would return when the 13th Baktun completes its cycle and the wanderer from the void aligns with the pyramids of the ancients. The 13th Baktun of the Mayan long count calendar completed its cycle in 2012. The cosmic wanderer achieved its alignment with ancient pyramids in 2024. The temporal proximity of these events, separated by civilizations that allegedly had no contact, suggests both cultures preserved memories of the same cosmic schedule. Chinese astronomical records dating back over 4,000 years contain references to guest stars that behaved unlike normal celestial objects. These accounts describe luminous visitors that appeared in specific regions of the sky, remained visible for extended periods, and then departed following trajectories that seemed purposeful rather than random. The I Ching, China's ancient book of changes, includes hexagrams that some modern interpreters believe describe interstellar visitation. Hexagram 14, Great Possession, contains imagery of fire in the sky that returns to its source after illuminating the works of earthbound builders. The timing calculations associated with this hexagram, when converted to modern astronomical terms, align remarkably well with the 26,000-year precession cycle that governs long-term stellar positions. Ancient Chinese astronomers also developed concepts of cosmic harmony that required understanding celestial mechanics across vast timescales. Their belief that earthly events must align with heavenly patterns led to architectural projects designed to maintain cosmic balance. The Forbidden City in Beijing, the Temple of Heaven, and numerous other imperial structures incorporate astronomical alignments that account for precession and long-term stellar drift. These monuments, like their counterparts in Egypt and the Americas, appear designed to function as cosmic communication devices, capable of detecting and responding to specific celestial influences. Sumerian cuneiform tablets contain perhaps the most explicit accounts of contact with beings from space. The Epic of Gilgamesh describes the Anunnaki, those who came from heaven to earth, in terms that read like contact reports rather than mythological narratives. These beings possessed flying vehicles, advanced technology, and detailed knowledge of astronomy and mathematics. Most remarkably, Sumerian astronomical texts describe celestial visitors who would return according to a great cycle measured in thousands of years. These tablets include calculations for orbital mechanics, gravitational influences, and trajectory planning that wouldn't be rediscovered by human astronomers until the space age. The Sumerian king lists record impossibly long reigns for early rulers, some allegedly lasting tens of thousands of years. But rather than dismiss these as mythological exaggeration, some researchers now wonder if they represent actual time measurements, not of individual human lifespans, but of cosmic cycles during which the star visitors maintained active contact with Earth. Aboriginal Australian Dreamtime stories preserve similar memories through oral traditions spanning tens of thousands of years. The sky heroes of Aboriginal mythology are described as beings who arrived in fire canoes from specific stars, established sacred sites aligned with celestial positions, and taught astronomy and navigation to selected humans. Many Aboriginal sacred sites demonstrate astronomical alignments that account for precession over periods exceeding 26,000 years. The accuracy of these alignments suggests the original designers understood stellar mechanics at a level that required either advanced mathematical knowledge or direct observation across geological timescales. Aboriginal elders speak of sky maps encoded in landscape features, rock formations, and ceremonial grounds. These maps allegedly describe the paths taken by the sky heroes and mark locations where they would eventually return. Recent analysis of some Aboriginal sacred sites has revealed geometric relationships that mirror the patterns we observed during the Cosmic Wanderer's alignment with the Egyptian pyramids. Hindu texts, particularly the Mahabharata and Ramayana, contain detailed descriptions of vimanas, flying vehicles operated by beings from other worlds. These accounts include technical specifications that read like engineering manuals, describing propulsion systems, navigation methods, and energy sources that seem to anticipate technologies we're only beginning to develop. The Kalki Purana describes a cosmic cycle lasting 432,000 years, during which avatars, divine beings, periodically descend from the stars to interact with human civilization. This cycle, when calculated in terms of modern astronomy, corresponds closely to the long-term orbital periods that would govern interstellar travel between nearby star systems. Hindu astronomy, developed over millennia of observation and calculation, incorporates understanding of cosmic scales that shouldn't have been accessible to ancient observers. Their calculations of planetary periods, stellar distances, and galactic rotation cycles demonstrate mathematical sophistication that rivals modern astrophysics. Perhaps most significantly, Hindu texts describe specific astronomical configurations that would mark the return of the star visitors. These descriptions include references to the wanderer from the void that would align with the monuments of the ancients during periods when the wheel of time completes its great turning. The consistency of these accounts across cultures separated by continents and millennia suggests they preserve memories of actual historical events rather than independent mythological inventions. The technical accuracy of their astronomical details, the precision of their mathematical calculations, and their specific references to cyclical visitation patterns all point toward preservation of factual information about cosmic visitors who possessed advanced understanding of stellar mechanics. But these ancient accounts don't simply describe past visitations, they consistently emphasize that the star visitors would return according to predictable cycles, and that human monuments had been designed to recognize and respond to their approach. The cosmic wanderer's recent alignment with the Egyptian pyramids may represent the fulfillment of prophecies that have been waiting in stone and text for 4,000 years. The electromagnetic responses, temperature anomalies, and revealed carvings we observed might be exactly the phenomena these ancient accounts predicted would occur when the star visitors returned. Recent analysis of previously untranslated texts has revealed even more specific details about the expected return. Egyptian papyri describe electromagnetic disturbances that would affect the great monuments during alignment periods. Mayan codices predict temperature variations within pyramid chambers when the wanderer completes its approach. Chinese astronomical records anticipate changes in local magnetic fields that would make hidden writings visible to those who know how to look. These predictions, written thousands of years before the invention of instruments capable of detecting electromagnetic fields or measuring precise temperature variations, demonstrate knowledge that shouldn't have existed in ancient civilizations, unless those civilizations preserved information provided by visitors who possessed advanced scientific understanding. The accuracy of these ancient predictions raises profound questions about the relationship between human civilization and cosmic intelligences. If the star visitors provided detailed information about their eventual return, including specific timing, astronomical configurations, and physical phenomena that would accompany their approach, then human history may represent something far more complex than the independent development of isolated cultures. Archaeological evidence supports this interpretation. Recently discovered chambers beneath the Giza pyramids contain inscriptions that weren't accessible when the monuments were first explored. These hidden texts describe the cosmic visitors' approach with mathematical precision that matches our modern astronomical observations. Similar discoveries at other ancient sites around the world have revealed consistent patterns. Mayan pyramids contain sealed chambers with star charts showing interstellar trajectories. Chinese imperial tombs include astronomical devices calibrated for detecting specific cosmic influences. Hindu temples incorporate measurement systems designed to track celestial objects across millennia. The global distribution of these discoveries suggests ancient civilizations maintained communication networks that allowed them to coordinate their preparations for the star visitors' return. Despite being separated by vast distances and supposedly lacking advanced transportation, these cultures appear to have shared detailed astronomical information and construction techniques. But perhaps the most unsettling aspect of these ancient accounts is their consistent emphasis on the return being a test or judgment. The texts don't simply describe the star visitors' arrival, they suggest their return would determine humanity's readiness for the next phase of cosmic evolution. Egyptian inscriptions warn that the monuments must remain properly maintained and aligned, or the star visitors would find humanity unprepared. Mayan prophecies link the wanderer's return to fundamental changes in human consciousness. Hindu texts describe the cosmic cycle's completion as marking either humanity's ascension to higher understanding or its failure to achieve cosmic awareness. The cosmic wanderer's successful alignment with the ancient monuments may indicate that humanity has passed whatever test the ancients believed was coming. The electromagnetic responses, the revealed carvings, the synchronized phenomena across multiple sites, all suggest the ancient preparations functioned as designed. But if these accounts are accurate, if the recent alignment represents the fulfillment of prophecies preserved for thousands of years, then what comes next may be determined by knowledge encoded in texts and monuments we haven't yet learned to fully interpret. What did our ancestors know about cosmic cycles and stellar visitors that we're only beginning to rediscover? As we continue monitoring the cosmic wanderer's journey through our solar system, analysing the data from its unprecedented alignment with ancient monuments, we must consider the possibility that human civilization has been preparing for this moment far longer than we realised, guided by knowledge preserved in stone, text, and tradition across thousands of years of patient waiting. What if the pyramids were never meant for human eyes alone? What if these massive stone monuments were built as cosmic bulletin boards, designed to communicate with intelligences that think in geological time and navigate by the movements of stars? The electromagnetic signatures recorded during the Cosmic Wanderer's alignment suggest the Giza complex functions as more than architectural achievement. The synchronized responses across all three monuments, the precise timing of their electromagnetic pulses, and the geometric patterns they created in local magnetic fields point towards sophisticated communication systems built into the very foundations of these ancient structures. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a specialist in electromagnetic archaeology at the University of Barcelona, spent months analysing the data from alignment night. Her findings challenged conventional understanding of what the pyramid builders actually constructed 4,000 years ago. These aren't passive stone monuments, Rodriguez concluded. They're active electromagnetic devices designed to detect, amplify, and respond to specific cosmic signals. The limestone blocks themselves function as components in a massive radio telescope array. Rodriguez's analysis revealed that the pyramid complex operates on frequencies that correspond to natural electromagnetic emissions from interstellar space. The monuments appear calibrated to detect the specific radio signatures produced by objects travelling at high velocities through the cosmic medium, exactly the type of emissions that would characterise an interstellar visitor like the Cosmic Wanderer. But the system doesn't merely detect these signals, it responds to them, creating electromagnetic patterns that extend far beyond Earth's atmosphere. During the alignment period, the pyramids generated radio transmissions powerful enough to be detected by sensitive instruments across the solar system. They were broadcasting, sending information into space using the Cosmic Wanderer's presence as both trigger and target. The content of these transmissions defied immediate interpretation. The signals consisted of mathematical sequences, geometric patterns, and harmonic relationships that seemed to encode information about Earth's position, human civilization's development, and perhaps most remarkably, confirmation that the ancient preparations had functioned as intended. Similar electromagnetic activity was detected at pyramid sites around the world during the same period. The Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan in Mexico began generating unusual magnetic field patterns. The stepped pyramids at Saqqara in Egypt showed synchronized electromagnetic responses. Even Angkor Wat in Cambodia, with its pyramid-like temple structures, registered anomalous energy readings that correlated with the Giza phenomena. This global network of ancient monuments appeared to be awakening simultaneously, as if the Cosmic Wanderer's alignment had activated a worldwide communication system that had been dormant for millennia. Dr. James Chen, a systems engineer from MIT who specializes in distributed communication networks, recognized patterns in the inter-site electromagnetic correlations that resembled modern networking protocols. What we're observing looks like a distributed antenna array, Chen explained, multiple transmission points coordinating their signals to create a coherent, high-powered broadcast. It's the same principle we use for deep space communication, except this system was built thousands of years before we understood the underlying physics. Chen's analysis suggested the monuments weren't just responding randomly to the cosmic visitor's presence. They were executing a predetermined communication protocol, sending specific information packages that had been encoded into their structure and triggered by the alignment event. The precision required to coordinate such a system across multiple continents, accounting for Earth's rotation, atmospheric interference, and the precise positioning of the interstellar target, implied engineering capabilities that shouldn't have existed in ancient civilizations. Yet the archaeological evidence clearly demonstrated that these monuments had been built with exactly the mathematical relationships needed to create such coordinated transmissions. The limestone blocks themselves revealed secrets under detailed analysis following the alignment. Microscopic examination showed that the stones contained trace minerals arranged in patterns that created natural semiconductor properties. These weren't random geological formations, they were carefully selected materials that had been processed to enhance their electromagnetic characteristics. Dr. Sarah Kim, the geologist studying these mineral arrangements, discovered that the limestone blocks functioned as primitive but effective electromagnetic components. The pyramid builders somehow knew how to turn limestone into technology, she reported. They created monuments that operate as integrated circuits on an architectural scale. The three-pointed symbols that became visible after the alignment proved to be more than decorative carvings. Detailed scanning revealed they were cut into the stone with mathematical precision that created specific electromagnetic properties. The symbols functioned as antenna elements, focusing and directing the energy generated by the limestone block's semiconductor properties. But perhaps most remarkable was the discovery that these symbols weren't randomly distributed across the monument surfaces. They were arranged in patterns that corresponded to star charts, marking specific celestial coordinates that matched the cosmic wanderer's trajectory through space. The pyramids weren't just broadcasting into space, they were aiming their transmissions at predetermined locations where they expected to find their intended recipients. Temperature monitoring during the weeks following the alignment revealed that the monuments continued to show subtle thermal variations that correlated with the cosmic wanderer's position as it moved away from Earth. The pyramids were tracking their visitor, maintaining some form of electromagnetic contact, even as the distance between them increased. This ongoing communication suggested the monuments weren't simply designed to recognize the arrival of cosmic visitors. They were built to establish and maintain contact, serving as permanent embassy buildings for civilizations separated by vast distances and even vaster stretches of time. Local wildlife around the pyramid sites continued to exhibit behavioral changes that mapped precisely onto the electromagnetic activity patterns. Dr. Maria Santos, the ethologist documenting these responses, noted that the animals seemed to be reacting to information encoded in the electromagnetic transmissions. The wildlife isn't just sensing random energy, Santos observed. They're responding to structured information, as if the monuments are broadcasting data that biological systems can somehow interpret. This biological responsiveness suggested the pyramid communication system operated on multiple levels simultaneously, transmitting technical information to cosmic recipients while simultaneously affecting local biological systems in ways that enhanced their sensitivity to cosmic influences. Archaeological teams working at sites around the world began reporting similar phenomena at other ancient monuments. Stonehenge registered unusual magnetic activity during the alignment period. The stone heads of Easter Island showed electromagnetic anomalies that synchronized with the pyramid transmissions. The megalithic temples of Malta exhibited temperature variations that matched the patterns observed at Giza. The global scope of these responses indicated that ancient builders had created a worldwide network of cosmic communication devices, all calibrated to activate during specific astronomical events. The cosmic wanderer's alignment with the Egyptian pyramids had triggered the entire system, awakening monuments across every continent. Dr. Ahmed Hassan, the Egyptologist who had discovered the historical gaps in ancient records, found new significance in the texts describing the awakening of the Stone Watchers. These previously cryptic passages now read like technical manuals, describing the activation procedures for a global monitoring and communication network. The texts indicated that the monument network wasn't designed for one-time activation. It was built to operate during recurring cosmic cycles, maintaining contact with stellar civilizations across thousands of years of cyclical visitation. The current activation represented not an ending, but a renewal of communication protocols that had been dormant since the previous cycle. Hidden chambers discovered beneath pyramid sites contained additional evidence of the monument's communication functions. These rooms housed carved stone devices that appeared to be mechanical computers designed to calculate astronomical positions and communication timing across vast periods of time. The stone computers incorporated gear systems, lever mechanisms, and calculation wheels that could track stellar positions, predict planetary alignments, and determine optimal transmission windows for cosmic communication. They were analog computers built from granite and limestone, programmed to operate across millennia without maintenance or external power sources. Most remarkably, these ancient computers were still functional. When archaeologists activated the mechanisms, they began tracking current astronomical positions with remarkable accuracy, confirming that they had continued their calculations throughout the thousands of years since they were built. The computers contained information about future cosmic events, including predictions for additional interstellar visitors that would arrive according to calculable schedules. The cosmic wanderer that had recently aligned with the pyramids was apparently one of several such objects expected to visit Earth, according to ancient computational forecasts. Radio astronomers monitoring the electromagnetic transmissions from the pyramid sites detected responses coming from deep space. These weren't echoes or reflections of the Earth-based signals. They were independent transmissions that appeared to be answering the pyramid broadcasts. The response signals originated from the direction of the cosmic wanderer's trajectory, but their source appeared to be much farther away than the interstellar visitor itself. Something in the depths of space was acknowledging the pyramid transmissions and sending back information of its own. Analysis of these response signals revealed they contained mathematical proofs, star charts, and technical specifications that exceeded current human understanding of physics and astronomy. The transmissions included detailed information about stellar engineering, interstellar navigation, and technologies that could manipulate electromagnetic fields across cosmic distances. But most unsettling were the sections of the response signals that contained information about Earth itself, geographic details, biological data, and historical information that demonstrated detailed knowledge of human civilization spanning thousands of years. Whatever was responding to the pyramid broadcasts had been monitoring Earth for far longer than the recent cosmic wanderer's visit. The pyramid communication system had successfully established contact with intelligences that possessed comprehensive knowledge of human development and appeared to have been observing Earth throughout recorded history. The monuments had functioned exactly as designed, serving as beacons that attracted the attention of cosmic civilizations and established communication protocols for ongoing contact. Temperature readings from the pyramid chambers showed that the monuments remained active weeks after the initial alignment, continuing to generate the thermal signatures associated with their electromagnetic transmissions. The communication system wasn't shutting down, it was maintaining open channels with its cosmic correspondence. Analysis of the ongoing transmissions revealed they were exchanging increasingly complex information. The initial mathematical sequences had evolved into geometric proofs, stellar navigation data, and what appeared to be technical specifications for technologies that could enhance the communication system's capabilities. The cosmic correspondents were apparently providing upgrade instructions for the ancient monuments, transmitting information that could enhance their sensitivity, increase their transmission power, and improve their ability to maintain contact across interstellar distances. But buried within these technical transmissions were references to additional cosmic visitors that would arrive according to predictable schedules. The response signals contained detailed trajectory information for objects that wouldn't reach Earth for hundreds or thousands of years, suggesting the cosmic civilizations maintained comprehensive knowledge of interstellar traffic patterns across vast regions of space. The pyramid builders hadn't just constructed monuments that could recognize and respond to one cosmic visitor. They had built communication infrastructure for ongoing contact with multiple stellar civilizations, creating permanent embassy facilities that would operate across geological timescales. The electromagnetic activity, temperature anomalies, and revealed symbols we observed during the recent alignment represented not the end of an ancient mystery, but the beginning of a new chapter in human contact with cosmic intelligences. The monuments had successfully established the communication channels they were designed to create. As the cosmic wanderer continues its journey away from Earth, the pyramid communication system remains active, maintaining contact and exchanging information with civilizations that exist beyond the reach of our telescopes but well within the range of monuments built to span the gap between human achievement and cosmic consciousness. What messages are flowing between our ancient monuments and the stars? And what responses are those stone transmitters receiving from intelligences that measure time in millennia? The pyramids stand no longer as silent monuments to vanished pharaohs, but as active communication terminals in a cosmic network that connects Earth to civilizations whose existence we are only now beginning to comprehend. A network that has been operational for 4,000 years, waiting for the right moment to reveal its true purpose to the descendants of its builders. In the quiet hours before dawn, as the cosmic wanderer fades into the deep black between stars, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of a transformed understanding of our place in the universe. The alignment we witnessed wasn't merely an astronomical event, it was a moment of cosmic recognition, when intelligence separated by thousands of years and countless miles of space acknowledged each other across the vast darkness. The electromagnetic conversations flowing between our ancient monuments and the depths of space continue even now. Weeks after the visible alignment ended, radio telescopes around the world detect the subtle exchanges, the mathematical dialogues, the patient transmission of knowledge between Earth's stone ambassadors and civilizations whose existence we are only beginning to comprehend. But what does it mean when monuments built by our ancestors successfully establish contact with intelligences that navigate between the stars? What does it tell us about the nature of consciousness, the scope of intelligence, and the possibility that minds can collaborate across scales of time and distance that dwarf individual human experience? The Cosmic Wanderer's precise alignment with the Giza pyramids suggests that intelligence operates according to principles we've barely begun to understand. The monument builders somehow possessed knowledge that allowed them to anticipate and prepare for cosmic events that wouldn't occur for thousands of years. They understood stellar mechanics, electromagnetic principles, and mathematical relationships that enabled them to construct functional technology from limestone and starlight. This achievement implies that human consciousness, even in its earliest expressions, possessed capabilities we've forgotten or abandoned. The pyramid builders weren't primitive peoples struggling with basic survival. They were sophisticated engineers working on projects that spanned millennia, creating infrastructure for civilizations they would never see, but whose needs they somehow understood. The global network of responsive monuments indicates that ancient human cultures maintained communication and coordination across vast distances, sharing knowledge and technology that enabled them to build compatible systems on different continents. Despite being separated by oceans and supposedly lacking advanced transportation, these civilizations worked together on a project of cosmic scope. But perhaps most profound is the realization that this ancient collaboration wasn't limited to human participants. The evidence suggests our ancestors worked in partnership with non-terrestrial intelligences, receiving guidance and technical specifications that enabled them to construct devices capable of interstellar communication. The Star Visitor accounts preserved in myths and religious texts across every culture begin to read less like ancient fantasies and more like historical records of an extraordinary collaboration between human and cosmic intelligence. The gods from the sky weren't supernatural beings. They were representatives of civilizations advanced enough to navigate between star systems and generous enough to share their knowledge with the younger species, and this collaboration apparently wasn't brief or superficial. The precision of the monuments, the complexity of their embedded calculations, and the sophistication of their communication capabilities suggest extended periods of direct instruction and technical transfer. Our ancestors learned not just astronomy and mathematics, but practical engineering techniques for building technology that would remain functional across geological timescales. The Cosmic Wanderer's successful alignment with these ancient monuments represents the fulfillment of a promise made thousands of years ago. The star visitors who provided the technical knowledge apparently assured our ancestors that they would return, that the communication systems would eventually activate, and that Earth would be welcomed into a broader cosmic community when the time was right. The electromagnetic responses recorded during the alignment, the temperature variations in the pyramid chambers, and the revealing of hidden symbols all suggest that time has arrived. The monuments have successfully established contact, transmitted confirmation of human technological readiness, and received acknowledgement from civilizations that have been monitoring our development for millennia. But this contact comes with implications that challenge fundamental assumptions about human independence and cosmic isolation. We are not alone, and we never have been. The development of human civilization has apparently occurred under the guidance and observation of intelligences that possess knowledge spanning galactic timescales. The mathematical proofs, star charts, and technical specifications being transmitted to our ancient monuments contain information that could revolutionize human understanding of physics, astronomy, and engineering. But receiving this knowledge requires acknowledging that our technological development has been anticipated and planned by minds operating on scales we're only beginning to comprehend. The response signals from deep space include detailed information about stellar engineering projects that span thousands of years, navigation techniques for traveling between star systems, and technologies for manipulating electromagnetic fields across cosmic distances. This isn't just scientific data, it's an invitation to participate in projects of galactic scope, but the cosmic correspondents appear to be evaluating our readiness for such participation. The ongoing transmissions include tests, puzzles, and challenges that seem designed to assess human problem-solving capabilities and technological sophistication. We're being examined, measured against standards that determine whether we're prepared for the responsibilities that come with cosmic citizenship. The ancient monuments serve as our representatives in this evaluation, demonstrating that human intelligence, even in its earliest expressions, could create lasting achievements that function across millennia. The Pyramid Builders' success in anticipating and preparing for cosmic contact serves as evidence of human potential that extends far beyond current technological capabilities. Yet the evaluation isn't merely technical. The response signals contain complex information about ecological management, sustainable development, and the long-term stewardship of planetary resources. Our cosmic correspondents appear concerned not just with our technological capabilities, but with our wisdom in applying those capabilities responsibly. The electromagnetic transmissions include detailed analyses of Earth's environmental conditions, climate patterns, and biological diversity. The cosmic intelligences have been monitoring our planet's ecological health and appear to be assessing our success in maintaining the natural systems that support life. This monitoring extends to human social development as well. The response signals contain information about population dynamics, resource distribution, and cultural evolution that demonstrates comprehensive knowledge of human civilization's progress. We're being evaluated not just as individuals or even as a species, but as planetary stewards responsible for maintaining the conditions that enabled intelligence to emerge on Earth. The implications are both humbling and inspiring. We exist within a cosmic community that values not just technological achievement, but ecological wisdom and social responsibility. Our advancement to full cosmic citizenship apparently depends on demonstrating that we can manage planetary resources sustainably while developing technologies that enhance rather than threaten the conditions for life. The Cosmic Wanderer's alignment with our ancient monuments may mark the beginning of a trial period during which our performance as planetary stewards will determine our future relationship with galactic civilizations. The monuments continue their electromagnetic conversations, transmitting data about human progress and receiving guidance about the challenges that lie ahead. But hidden within these technical exchanges are references to other worlds, other species, and other civilizations that have undergone similar evaluations. The cosmic community apparently includes multiple intelligent species at various stages of development, all working together on projects that span star systems and geological epochs. The response signals describe vast construction projects involving multiple star systems, collaborative research efforts spanning thousands of years, and resource-sharing agreements between civilizations separated by hundreds of light years. We're being invited to join a galactic community whose scope and achievements dwarf anything in human experience. Yet the invitation comes with warnings. The transmissions include accounts of civilizations that failed their evaluations, species that developed powerful technologies without corresponding wisdom, and worlds that were ultimately quarantined to prevent them from threatening other developing civilizations. The cosmic correspondents make clear that technological capability alone isn't sufficient for cosmic citizenship. Intelligence must be accompanied by wisdom, power by responsibility, and achievement by sustainable stewardship of the resources that enable that achievement. The ancient monuments that established this contact serve as reminders of human potential at its highest expression. The Pyramid Builders created lasting achievements that demonstrate our species' capacity for long-term thinking, mathematical sophistication, and collaborative effort across vast scales of space and time. But they also remind us that this potential can be realized only through patience, precision, and dedication to purposes that extend far beyond individual lifespans or immediate benefits. The monuments represent human intelligence operating at cosmic scales, thinking in stellar time, building for civilizations yet to be born. The electromagnetic conversations flowing between our stone ambassadors and the stars continue to exchange increasingly complex information. Technical specifications become philosophical discussions. Mathematical proofs evolve into ethical examinations. Star charts transform into invitations to join collaborative projects of galactic scope. As we monitor these transmissions, we begin to understand that the Cosmic Wanderer's alignment with our ancient monuments marked not just the establishment of contact, but our enrollment in a cosmic educational system designed to prepare developing civilizations for participation in galactic community. The lessons being transmitted to our monuments include not just scientific knowledge, but wisdom accumulated across millions of years of civilizational development. We're receiving guidance from intelligences that have successfully navigated the challenges we now face, species that have learned to balance technological capability with ecological responsibility. But perhaps most remarkably, we're discovering that this guidance has been available throughout human history. The myths and legends preserved in every culture weren't fantasies. They were educational materials, simplified versions of cosmic knowledge adapted for civilizations not yet ready for direct technical instruction. The Star Visitor accounts, the astronomical wisdom encoded in ancient monuments, and the mathematical relationships built into religious architecture all represent elements of a curriculum designed to prepare human consciousness for eventual cosmic citizenship. The Cosmic Wanderer's alignment with the pyramids marks our graduation from indirect instruction to direct communication. The monuments have successfully demonstrated our readiness for more advanced lessons, and our cosmic correspondents have responded by opening direct channels for knowledge transfer. Yet this advancement comes with increased responsibility. As recipients of cosmic knowledge, we become accountable not just for our own development, but for our contributions to the galactic community we're joining. The technologies being transmitted to our monuments could revolutionize human civilization, but only if we demonstrate the wisdom to apply them responsibly. The response signals from deep space include specific challenges designed to test our commitment to sustainable development, ecological stewardship, and peaceful collaboration. We're being asked to prove that human intelligence can grow beyond its current limitations, to embrace responsibilities that span star systems and geological epochs. The ancient monuments that established this contact stand as proof that such growth is possible. The pyramid builders succeeded in creating lasting achievements that demonstrate human potential operating at cosmic scales. Their success suggests that we possess the capabilities needed to meet the challenges our cosmic correspondents are presenting. But realizing this potential requires recognizing that we're part of something far larger than human civilization alone. The electromagnetic conversations flowing between our monuments and the stars remind us that intelligence operates throughout the galaxy, that consciousness exists on scales we're only beginning to imagine, and that our development as a species occurs within contexts that span cosmic time. The Cosmic Wanderer came and found the pyramids waiting, monuments built by ancestors who somehow knew this moment would arrive, structures designed to bridge the gap between human achievement and cosmic consciousness. The alignment we witnessed represents the successful completion of a project that began when our civilization was young, a demonstration that minds can collaborate across thousands of years and countless miles of space. As the interstellar visitor fades into the darkness between stars, the questions it raised continue to resonate through human consciousness. We've discovered that we're not alone, that we've never been alone, and that our development as a species has occurred under the patient guidance of intelligences that think in stellar time and build for civilization spanning galaxies. The electromagnetic conversations continue, the monuments remain active, and the cosmic correspondents await our response to their invitation. We stand at the threshold of a transformed understanding of our place in the universe, inheritors of ancient knowledge and potential participants in collaborative projects of galactic scope. What we do with this knowledge, how we respond to this invitation, and whether we prove worthy of the trust our ancestors placed in us when they built monuments to span the gap between human achievement and cosmic consciousness. These choices will determine not just the future of human civilization, but our role in the cosmic community that has been waiting millennia for us to join them among the stars. The Cosmic Wanderer found the pyramids waiting, and in that meeting across thousands of years, written in stone and starlight, we discovered that the universe has been preparing us for this moment far longer than we ever dared imagine.